A quiet morning in Pine Haven Gardens, the kind of suburban paradise where the biggest worry is whether the sprinklers hit the roses just right. The sun's barely up, painting the sky in soft pinks and golds, and I'm sitting at my kitchen table, cradling a steaming mug of coffee. My name's Daniel, just a regular guy who bought this corner lot 4 years ago for one reason: peace. That locked gate on my driveway? It's my shield, my little fortress against the world. I never thought it'd turn me into a warrior. Then came the banging. Loud, relentless, like someone's trying to break the door down. Coffee sloshes over the rim, soaking my favorite shirt, and I'm already fuming as I stumble to the front door. It's 7:30 on a Saturday, for crying out loud. Who does this? I yank the door open, ready to unleash hell. And there she is. Diane Morgan, all clipboard and fake smiles, standing on my porch like she owns it. "Good morning, neighbor," she says, her voice dripping with syrup, but her eyes cold as a winter night. As the new president of the Pine Haven Gardens Homeowners Association, I'm delivering important notices today. She shoves an envelope into my hands before I can even blink. The HOA logo glaring at me in bold red letters. "What's this about?" I mutter, still wiping coffee off my chest. Her smile stretches wider, predatory. "The board voted last night, Daniel. You need to hand over keys to your gate within 7 days. My brain stalls. My gate? You mean my private driveway gate? Why the hell would I give you keys to that? She points toward my fenced backyard, casual, as if she's asking for a cup of sugar. Your corner lot's the perfect shortcut between Maple Street and Rosewood Lane. Residents waste nearly 5 minutes driving around your property. Section 12.4 of the bylaws gives us easement rights for community access. I feel the heat rising in my chest, my hands clenching. That's ridiculous. This is my private property. I paid extra for this lot because I wanted privacy. The gate stays locked. Diane's smile vanishes, her face hardening. I don't think you understand, Daniel. This isn't a request. The board's decided. 7 days or we start fining you $100 a day. She flips her clipboard, showing me a page of signatures. Look, Thomas Reynolds, Margaret Wilson, Kevin Jang. Everyone agrees. This is happening, whether you like it or not. I stare at the names. Thomas, her husband, Margaret, the queen of Rosewood Lane, Kevin, the silent yes man. My voice stays low, steady, but inside I'm boiling. I need to review my property documents. I don't believe you have the right to demand this. Her eyes narrow, sharp as knives. Check all you want. Section 12.4 is crystal clear. 7 days, Daniel. Oh, and by the way, she calls over her shoulder as she saunters off, your hedges are 3 inches too tall. Trim them before our next inspection. I slam the door, leaning against it, hands shaking. Who does she think she is? I've lived here longer than most of these people, built my life around this quiet corner, and now they're coming for it? That night I can't sleep. Diane's smug face haunts me, and something darker stirs. A gut feeling this isn't just about a shortcut. Little did I know, I was about to uncover a conspiracy that had turned my peaceful life into a battlefield, and me into the neighborhood's most unexpected hero. I'm fuming after Diane's little visit, my coffee-stained shirt still clinging to me like a bad memory. I'm not the type to just roll over, you know? I've always been stubborn, probably too much for my own good, but this feels personal. I spend the rest of that Saturday digging through my home office, pulling out every scrap of paper from when I bought this place. Property deed, plat maps, the works. I'm no lawyer, but I'm not dumb either. If Diane thinks she can bully me into handing over my gate keys, she's got another thing coming. By afternoon, I'm out front, yanking weeds from my garden to burn off steam. That's when I hear it, the deep rumble of Thomas Reynolds' obnoxious black SUV. Normally, he'd cruise around the corner like everyone else, but today? Oh no. This jerk slows down, locks eyes with me, and then, get this, drives right onto my grass. Cuts across the corner of my lawn like it's his personal shortcut, tearing up the sod I spent months perfecting. He even has the nerve to wave, grinning like a kid who just got away with stealing cookies. I'm standing there, trowel in hand, jaw on the ground. Did that just happen? That night, sleep's a lost cause. I'm tossing and turning, replaying Diane's icy stare, Tomas's smug wave. Around 2 a.m., I give up, stumble to my office, and start flipping through those documents again. The house is dead quiet, just the hum of the fridge in the background, and I'm squinting at fine print under a desk lamp. Then, boom, There it is. My heart starts pounding as I read it twice, 3 times, just to be sure. My property deed predates the Pine Haven Gardens HOA by 2 years. There's this grandfather clause, clear as day, saying my driveway's private, no easements, no HOA nonsense. They've got no legal leg to stand on. I'm about to crash, feeling a flicker of hope, when I hear another engine outside. I bolt to the window, peek through the blinds, and see Margaret Wilson's red sedan creeping along my sideline. She's not even subtle. Tires carve fresh tracks right next to Thomas's from yesterday. I watch her roll away, and something snaps in me. This isn't just Diana Thomas anymore. It's the whole damn board, treating my yard like a free-for-all. Standing there in my boxers, clutching that deed, I decide, I'm not just fighting back, I'm winning this. Monday morning, I'm at James Wilson's law office, no relation to Margaret, thank God. He's this older guy, glasses perched on his nose, office smelling like coffee and dusty books. I slide my deed across his desk and spill the whole story. Diane's demands, Thomas's lawn stunt, Margaret's midnight drive-by. He adjusts his glasses, scanning the pages, and nods slowly. They can't force you to give them keys, Daniel, he says, voice calm but firm. This grandfather clause protects your driveway. It's ironclad. Relief hits me like a wave. So I can just tell them to shove it? He chuckles, leaning back. Not quite. They can't take your gate legally. But HOAs? They've got tricks. Fines, inspections, social pressure. I've seen them harass folks into selling up and moving out. My stomach twists. I'm not moving, James. This is my home. Then we fight smart, he says, grabbing a legal pad. First, a cease and desist letter for the trespassing. Second, get security cameras. Document everything. Third, show up at their next meeting with this deed. And Daniel, brace yourself. They won't like losing. I leave his office with a plan, a fire in my gut. At the hardware store, I grab 4 high-def cameras, and by dusk, I'm up on a ladder, mounting them around my property. That's when Diane strolls by with her yappy little dog, leash tight in her hand. She stops dead, staring up at me. Security cameras, she calls out, voice all fake concern. I don't recall seeing an approval form for those. All exterior changes need board okay, you know? I keep my cool, screwing in the last bolt. These aren't modifications, Diane. They're temporary security, to catch the clowns trespassing on my lawn. Her face goes red, but she forces a smile. The board meeting's Thursday. I expect those gate keys then. Actually, I say, climbing down, I'll be there. Not with keys, though. I've got copies of my deed. Shows my driveway's exempt from your so-called easements. Her dog's barking like crazy now, and she yanks the leash hard. We'll see about that, she snaps, storming off. I watch her go, feeling the stakes climb higher. This isn't just about a gate anymore. It's war. Next morning, I'm sipping coffee when I spot my mailbox, or what's left of it. The post snapped clean off, the box crumpled like someone took a bat to it. Later that day, James's cease and desist letter hits every board member's mailbox. Certified mail, no dodging it. The response? That night, I'm washing dishes when a crash jerks me outside. Taillights vanish around the corner, and my garden lights, those solar ones I loved, are smashed to bits. My birdbath toppled over. I check the footage, and there they are, Thomas Reynolds and his punk kid Tyler, stomping my lights, laughing like it's a game. I'm shaking with rage, but I've got them now. Wednesday, I'm at the police station, handing Officer Martinez the video. We see this with HOAs all the time, she says, jotting notes. Under $500 damage, though, it's a misdemeanor. We'll talk to them, but don't hold your breath. I get home, and what's waiting? An orange HOA notice on my door. Unapproved cameras, $75 fine. Unkempt lawn debris, $50. Total, $125 due in 14 days. The debris? My broken lights and mailbox? Thomas's handiwork? I'm done playing nice. That night, I print flyers. Screenshots of Thomas and Tyler trashing my stuff. Timestamped, no commentary. At 10 p.m., I sneak around Pine Haven Gardens, slipping one under every door. By morning, my phone's blowing up. Neighbors texting, some pissed, some cheering me on. Diane fires off a community email calling me a troublemaker with doctored images. Oh, she's mad now. Then it gets wild. I'm making lunch when engines roar outside. I peek out. Diane's white sedan, Thomas's SUV, Margaret's red car, lined up like a posse. One by one they drive across my lawn, tires gouging deep tracks, honking and laughing as they peel out. I grab my phone to record, but they're gone, and I'm left staring at the mess. That's when Emma Jenkins, my across-the-street neighbor, calls. "Daniel, I saw that. It's disgusting. A bunch of us are talking. We'll back you at the next meeting." "Really?" I say, voice cracking a little. "Thanks, Emma. That means a lot." "Don't thank me yet," she warns. "Diane's only been president a month, and half the neighborhood hates her power trips. But people are scared to fight her." We hang up and I sit there, staring at my ruined lawn. This isn't just about me anymore. It's bigger, uglier. I pull out my laptop, searching driveway defenses. Retractable spikes pop up. $500. Steep, but after today, tempting. I'm grinning, imagining Diane's face when she hits them. The HOA's got no clue who they're messing with now. I'm staring at my laptop, those retractable spikes gleaming on the screen like some kind of suburban revenge fantasy. $500 is a lot, sure. But after Thomas, Diane, and Margaret turned my lawn into their personal racetrack, I'm ready to drop the cash. Delivery's 2 weeks, though. Too slow. I'm pacing, fuming, when a knock pulls me out of it. Standing on my porch is Mr. Franklin, this 78-year-old retired engineer from down the street. All wiry gray hair and a twinkle in his eye. "Saw those hooligans tearing up your yard, Daniel," he says, skipping the small talk. "Been watching this nonsense for days. Disgraceful." "Come in, man," I say, stepping aside. I could use a friendly face. He shuffles in, plops down at my kitchen table, and I pour us some coffee. He's got this sketch pad under his arm, and before I can ask, he flips it open, revealing these crazy detailed drawings. Hydraulics, metal spikes, the works. "Back in my day, we handled problems ourselves," he says, tapping the page. "I've got most of this in my garage from old projects. Could rig up a homemade spike system by the weekend, if you're game." I'm staring at this guy, half in awe. "You serious, Mr. Franklin? That'd be amazing." He grins, mischievous as hell. "One more thing. My grandson's an investigative reporter at Channel 8 News. Loves HOA bully stories. How soon you want him here?" "Tomorrow morning, work?" I say, my mind racing. "Spikes and a news crew? This is getting good." "Done," he says, sipping his coffee with a smirk. "They won't know what hit him." That evening, I'm still buzzing when the mail comes. Another HOA letter, this time listing 6 violations. Excessive dirt on my driveway, unapproved bird feeder color, you name it. Fines total $450. I'm livid, but it's fuel now. I call Emma right away. "How many neighbors are with us for that meeting?" "At least 12, she says, voice steady. "Diane's made enemies fast. The Rodriguez family got fined last week because their Christmas lights were up 1 day past her deadline, January 3rd. She's nuts." "Can you get everyone here tonight? My place, 8 p.m.? I ask, gripping the phone. "On it," she says, and I can hear the fight in her tone. By 8, my living room's packed. 14 neighbors crammed in, some on chairs, some leaning against walls. There's Mrs. Rodriguez, a tough mom with a glare that could melt steel, and Mr. Patel, this quiet guy who's usually all smiles but looks pissed tonight. I pass around copies of my deed, the cease and desist letter, and photos of Thomas and Tyler smashing my lights. "They've targeted all of us," Mrs. Rodriguez says, holding up the pics. "Last month, Thomas parked his boat in front of my house for a week, blocked my driveway because they had guests. Didn't even ask." Mr. Patel jumps in, voice tight. "Kevin Jang threatened to report my son's basketball hoop as a safety hazard unless I voted yes on the new landscaping contract. Turns out, it's Thomas's brother's company." The room's buzzing now, stories piling up. "They're bleeding us dry with fines and favors," I say, standing up. "We document everything, every overreach, every threat. We hit that Thursday meeting together. Oh, and one more thing. Channel 8's coming tomorrow." Eyes widen, and Mrs. Rodriguez claps once, loud. "Let's bury them." Next morning, I'm outside when the Channel 8 van rolls up, camera crew spilling out. Perfect timing. Diane's walking her dog right past my house. Her face goes ghost white when she spots them setting up on my lawn. The reporter, this sharp guy named Chris, steps over. We're doing a special on HOA disputes, specifically board members vandalizing property and demanding illegal access. Diane's clutching her leash, dog yapping like mad. That's defamation. You can't film here without permission. Actually, Chris says, cool as ice. We've got the homeowners okay, and it's not defamation if it's true and documented. She's sputtering, dialing her phone as she stomps off. That evening, the segment airs. HOA overreach, when community governance goes too far. Chris shows my footage of Thomas and Tyler, interviews neighbors about petty fines, and drops the bomb. My deed proves the HOA's got no claim. My phone rings minutes after it ends. Thomas, you've made a huge mistake, Daniel, he growls, voice shaking. This isn't about a gate anymore. Emergency board meeting tonight. You'll regret this stunt. Good luck with that, I snap, hanging up. I'm not scared anymore. I'm pissed. Late that night, Mr. Franklin's over, helping me install those homemade spikes. We're under my driveway, bolting metal into hidden compartments, when I spot a car parked down the street. Someone's watching. The silhouette? Tyler friggin' Reynolds. My skin crawls, but we finish up. Mr. Franklin hands me a remote. Ready to test? I press it and the spikes rise, silent, deadly, beautiful. They're toast, I whisper, grinning. He claps my shoulder. Sleep tight, kid. I try, but at dawn I'm up checking the damage. My front door splattered with eggs and ketchup. One camera spray-painted black. The footage, though? Tyler's face, clear as day, right before he tagged it. I'm at work later when my boss, Linda, calls me in, sliding an email across her desk. It's from Thomas, sent to my whole company, claiming I threatened his family, calling me unhinged. This retaliation, she asks, eyebrow up. Big time, I say, showing her the news clip on my phone. I never threatened anyone. They're mad I'm fighting back. Be careful, Daniel, she says, voice low. HOA nuts fight dirty. I get home and it's chaos. Neighbors everywhere, police cars flashing. Emma runs up as I park. They tried to rip out your gate. Thomas and Kevin showed up with power tools while you were gone, saying it's unapproved. Mr. Franklin caught them on his phone and called the cops. Officer Martinez waves me over, calm but serious. Neighbors saw attempted destruction of property. With your vandalism report and this many witnesses, we're taking it now. I glance up, and there's Diane's sedan creeping by. Our eyes lock. She doesn't look smug anymore. She looks scared. The HOA meeting's tomorrow night, and whatever goes down, I'm ready. This is war, and I've got an army now. Thursday night rolls around, and the Pine Haven Gardens Community Center is a madhouse. I've never seen it like this. Chairs dragged in from every corner, people packed against the walls, buzzing like a hive ready to swarm. I'm up front with Emma, Mr. Franklin, and Jason Lee, this attorney some neighbors hired, my laptop hooked to a projector. Diane's at the board table, looking like she hasn't slept in days, flanked by Thomas and Kevin. Margaret's there too, fidgeting, avoiding my eyes. Officer Martinez slips in the back, arms crossed, just watching. Oh, this is gonna be good. Diane bangs her gavel, voice tight. First item, we need to address the property access rights for the corner lot on Maple and Rosewood. You mean the illegal demands for my gate keys and the vandalism? I call out, loud enough to turn heads. The room murmurs, and Kevin jumps in fast. The board voted unanimously to exercise our easement rights under Section 12.4, he says, all smug. I stand, holding my deed copies high. Except no easement exists for my property. I bought it before the HOA formed. Lawyer checked, county confirmed. You've got nothing. Thomas leans forward, trying to cut in. We should table this, move on. No, Emma shouts from her seat. We're here for answers about board conduct. 14 of us signed a petition, explain the selective enforcement and illegal stunts. She hands the petition to Margaret, who takes it like it's burning her fingers. The crowd's getting rowdy now, voices overlapping. Diane slams her gavel again. This meeting follows proper procedure. Then explain the vandalism, Mr. Patel yells, standing up. You're caught on camera trashing Daniel's stuff and trying to tear down his gate. Officer Martinez rises and the room hushes fast. I'm not here officially, she says, voice steady. But after recent events, I figured I'd observe. Diane's face flushes red. This is a closed community matter. Actually, a guy I don't know stands. Tall, suit crisp. HOA meetings are open to all homeowners by state law. I'm Jason Lee, representing folks here tonight. Thomas whispers something to Diane, but she shakes him off. Margaret surprises everyone, her voice shaky. I move we dismiss the gate demands. New info says we overstepped. Kevin blinks, confused. What? Second, Mrs. Rodriguez calls, and hands shoot up. Margaret's too. Thomas glares, arms crossed, but Diane rushes it. All in favor, she says. It's a landslide. Motion passes. The access request is withdrawn. A win, sure. But I'm not done. What about the vandalism, the harassment? Thomas and Tyler trashed my property. Kevin tried to rip out my gate. Thomas bolts up. You can't prove anything. Those images could be anyone. Actually, a voice cuts through from the doorway. We've got witnesses and clear footage. It's Chris from Channel 8, cameraman in tow. We're doing a follow-up on HOA accountability. Mind if we film this public meeting? Diane looks like she's gonna faint. Meeting's adjourned. Not so fast, Jason says, stepping up. Bylaws, Article 7, Section 3A. A member motion trumps adjournment if seconded. I move for an emergency recall election of the board, Emma declares, fierce. Based on rule violations, state law breaches, and flat-out shady behavior. Second, half a dozen voices yell. Mrs. Rodriguez, Mr. Patel, more. What follows is 2 hours of pure chaos. Neighbors spill their guts. Fines for dumb stuff like crooked mailboxes, threats over paint colors. Mr. Franklin stands, passing out financial records he dug up months ago. Landscaping contract jumped 40% when it went to Thomas's brother's company. And the reserve fund? Down 30 grand. No explanation. The room's a volcano now, erupting with gasps and shouts. By the end, we vote overwhelming to boot the board, set an election, and order a full audit. As people file out, Margaret grabs my arm, voice low. Check the Rosewood Lane development proposal at the county records office. That's the real game. Next morning, I'm there, flipping through blueprints. There it is. Reynolds Construction LLC, Thomas's company, planning a 38-unit townhouse project behind Rosewood Lane. My driveway's the only construction access. Narrow roads won't cut it. This wasn't about shortcuts. It was a land grab. I'm driving home, pieces clicking, when Diane's sedan rolls up slow. Then she guns it, straight for my driveway. No, I yell, fumbling for the spike remote. Too late. Her tires hit the hidden line. Pop, 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 pop. 4 flats, and her car grinds to a halt. She stumbles out, screaming. You psychopaths, look what you did! You're trespassing on marked private property, I say calm, pointing to my new no trespassing signs. Caught on camera. Again. The Channel 8 van pulls up right then, Chris jogging over. Mrs. Morgan, why are you driving on private land after the HOA backed off? And what about Reynolds Construction's development plans we uncovered? Diane's red fades to white. No comment, she mutters, dialing her phone. I need Thomas. Neighbors spill out. Emma gives me a thumbs up. Mr. Franklin's cackling at Diane's wrecked car. For the first time in weeks, I feel I didn't just save my gate. I cracked their whole rotten scheme wide open. A week later, the emergency meeting's insane. Standing room only. I'm early, setting up my laptop with Jason and Mr. Franklin. Thomas and Diane slink in, trailed by a slick lawyer in a suit that screams money. Thomas looks like death. Bags under his eyes, hair a mess. Diane's makeup can't hide the strain. Mrs. Rodriguez kicks it off. First up, the audit results. Jason takes the podium, projecting bank statements. Over the past year, 74 grand of HOA funds went to vendors with no documentation. Biggest chunk, 42,000. Hit Evergreen Landscaping, owned by Thomas's brother Richard. Work never happened. The crowd gasps. Thomas jumps up. This is a witch hunt. Those payments were legit. By who? Jason asks cool. No full board vote. Just you, Diane, and Kevin signed off. Kevin's sworn he was lied to. Thought it was emergency maintenance. Kevin staring at the floor, shrinking. Jason flips slides. Now, the Rosewood Lane project. Thomas's company needed Daniel's driveway for access. I step up, plugging in my flash drive. Found this at the county office. Emails between Thomas and the Planning Commission. Public record. Plotting to use my land. Thomas explodes. How'd you get those? Public request, buddy, I say. You admitted it on camera last week, offering to pay me after lying about easements. The lawyer's whispering fast, but Thomas shoves him off. Yeah, I'm developing it. It'd boost your property values. You should thank me. By trashing my yard and bullying me, I shoot back. The crowd's silent, stunned. He just confessed, Emma whispers, grinning. Jason jumps in. The commission's reviewing your permits for coercion. This is over. 2 hours later, the board's gone, voted out, we set an election, approve a forensic audit, and form a bylaw committee. As we leave, Thomas corners me in the lot, voice low and venomous. You ruined everything. My deal, my reputation. This isn't done. Actually, it is, Officer Martinez says, stepping up with another cop. Thomas Reynolds, you're under arrest. Embezzlement, fraud, criminal mischief. They cuff him, haul him off. Diane's frozen by their car, watching. He convinced me it was right, she says, not looking at me. The development was gonna fix our money mess. She climbs into a rental, her sedan still toast, and drives off. Walking home under the stars, I breathe easy. The war's not totally over, but I've won this round. And Pine Haven Gardens won't be the same. Thomas is hauled off in cuffs, Diane's taillights fading into the night, and I'm walking home under a sky full of stars, feeling lighter than I have in weeks. Pine Haven Gardens is quiet again, but it's different now, like the air's cleared after a storm. I've won, sure, but it's bigger than me. The whole neighborhood's waking up, and I'm still buzzing from it all when I crash into bed. 6 months fly by fast, spring hits and my front yard's blooming, tulips and daffodils popping up where those tire tracks used to be. The security cameras are still up, but the spikes? I took them out a while back. Neighbors still tease me about them though. Mr. Franklin's the worst. He'll hobble by with his cane and go pop, 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 mimicking Diane's tires with his big, goofy grin. At 78, he's a legend around here now, the spike guy who helped me fight back. The new HOA's a total turnaround. Emma's president. She stepped up after the election, and it's all transparent now. Meetings get recorded, minutes posted online, every penny tracked with dual sign-offs. Thomas pleaded guilty to some watered-down charges. Financial mismanagement mostly. Paid back a chunk of the cash to dodge jail. His development? Sold off to another company scrambling for a new access route. Diane filed for divorce and bailed. Haven't seen her since. Kevin apologized to everyone, head down at a meeting, and swore off HOA stuff for good. Margaret, though, she stuck around, helping rewrite the bylaws to plug every loophole she once exploited. I'm on my porch one morning sipping coffee when Emma swings by with a newspaper. "You're front page famous again, Daniel," she says, tossing it to me. Headline screams, "State Legislature Proposes Corner Lot Protection Act After HOA Scandal." The article's all about us, how my gate fight sparked a statewide push to limit HOA power, protect properties like mine from forced easements. They're calling it the Spike Law, and I can't help but laugh. Spike Law, huh? I say, shaking my head. That's got a ring to it. Damn right, Emma says, grinning. You're a hero around here, whether you like it or not. As she heads off, a moving truck rumbles up to Thomas and Diane's old place, empty since they split. New neighbors, I mutter, curious. Later, I'm trimming my hedges, Bang on HOA height now, no fines in sight. When a couple walks over from the house. The woman's got a bright smile. The guy's carrying a box labeled kitchen. "Hi there," she says, waving. "I'm Sarah Chun, and this is my husband Michael. Just moved in." "Daniel," I say, shaking their hands. "Welcome to Pinehaven Gardens." "We heard this place has a wild history," Michael says, setting the box down. "Something about the old owners and a gate?" I chuckle. "Yeah, it's a long story. Let's just say it taught us all about respecting boundaries and fighting for what's right." Sarah nods, impressed. "Emma stopped by with the welcome packet. She's super nice. Said the HOA's different now." "The best," I agree. "It's here to help, not hound you." "You'll like it." They head back and I'm finishing the hedges when a car rolls by slow. I glance up. Diane. She looks older, worn, staring at me from the driver's seat. Our eyes lock for a second, then she speeds off. Weird vibe, but I shrug it off. That night, though, a letter slips through my mail slot. No return address, just her handwriting, shaky and small. I open it and it's short. "Daniel, I'm sorry for what we did. Thomas convinced me it was for the neighborhood's good, but it was all about his failing development. Your property was his fix. Doesn't excuse it. I should have questioned him. Standing up to bullies sometimes means facing the ones closest to you. I regret it." I sit there, reading it twice, feeling this odd mix of pity and peace. She's gone, he's done, and I've got closure I didn't know I needed. Emma's been bugging me to join the HOA board. Says I'd be good at it, but I've always said no. Now, staring at Diane's words, I think maybe it's time. Shape the future, not just fight the past. Next morning, I'm out installing a new gate. Keypad this time, coded for emergency services. No spikes needed, just clear lines and trust. Mr. Franklin shuffles over, cane tapping. "Nice gate," he says, eyeing it. But I still say the spikes had more flair. We laugh, loud and easy, and neighbors wave as they pass. Mrs. Rodriguez with her kids. Mr. Patel shooting hoops with his son. My phone buzzes. A text from Chris at Channel 8. "Spike laws gaining traction. Might need you for a follow-up. Hero stuff." I grin, looking around. Peaceful yard, friendly faces. It's not just my win anymore. It's ours. Sometimes, standing your ground doesn't just save your little corner. It redraws the whole map. A few weeks after Diane's letter, I'm settling into this new normal. The keypad gate's humming along, my yard's pristine, and Pinehaven Gardens feels like a neighborhood again, not a battleground. I'm even warming up to Emma's HOA pitch, thinking about tossing my hat in for the next election. Then, out of nowhere, it all kicks off again. One last wild twist. It's a Saturday, late afternoon, and I'm grilling burgers out back, the smell of charcoal drifting over the fence. Mr. Franklin's over, sipping a beer and regaling me with some story about a bridge he built in '82. That's when I hear it. Tires crunching gravel, way too close. I drop the spatula, jog around front, and there's Thomas's black SUV parked smack on my driveway, right past the no trespassing sign. He's out of the car, pacing, looking rough, unshaven, shirt wrinkled, eyes wild. "Thomas?" I say, stepping forward, pulse kicking up. "What the hell are you doing here?" He spins on me, pointing a shaky finger. "You think you're some big shot now, huh, Daniel? The Spike Law hero? You cost me everything. My company, my marriage, my whole damn life." Mr. Franklin's behind me now, cane tapping, voice low. "Easy, son. He's not worth it." "You're trespassing," I say, keeping my cool. "You've got no business here. Get off my property." Thomas laughs, bitter and loud. "Oh, I'm leaving all right. Sold the house, moving out of state. But I couldn't go without seeing your smug face one last time. You and your cameras, your little news buddies. You ruined me." "You ruined yourself," I shoot back, stepping closer. "You embezzled, you lied, you tried to steal my land for your shady deal. I just fought back, and won." He lunges forward, fists clenched, and I brace myself. But Mr. Franklin's faster than you'd think. Plants his cane between us like a wall. "Back off, Reynolds," he growls. You're done here." Thomas freezes, breathing hard, then stumbles back. That's when Emma's voice cuts through. She's sprinting over from across the street, phone in hand. "Daniel, you okay? I saw his car." "I'm calling Martinez." "No need," I say, nodding toward the road. A police cruiser's already rolling up, lights off but unmistakable. Officer Martinez steps out, calm as ever, eyeing Thomas. "Got a call from a neighbor," she says. "Mr. Reynolds, you're violating a restraining order. Daniel's got one filed after your last stunt. Hands where I can see him." Thomas's face crumples, all the fight draining out. "This is bullshit," he mutters, but he raises his hands. Martinez cuffs him again, and as she leads him to the car, he twists back, voice cracking. "You think this makes you better than me? You're nothing, Daniel." I don't bite. Just watch him go. The SUV's engine still ticking as Martinez hauls him off. Emma's beside me now, shaking her head. "Guy can't let it go." "Huh?" "Nope," I say, exhaling. "But I can." Mr. Franklin claps my shoulder, grinning. That's the spirit. "Burgers still good?" "Damn right," I laugh, and we head back to the grill, the tension melting away. Later, as the sun dips low, Sarah and Michael Chun wander over, drawn by the commotion. "Heard yelling," Sarah says, curious. "Everything okay?" "Just tying up loose ends," I say, flipping a patty. "Old neighbor saying goodbye his way." Michael whistles. This place really does have stories. "Stick around," Emma says, grabbing a beer. "We've got plenty, and Daniel's the guy who started the best one." We eat, we talk, and the night settles in, warm and easy. A few days later, I'm at the community center for an HOA meeting. First one I've attended as a member, not a warrior. Emma's up front, running it smooth, and I'm in the back, just listening. Then she calls me up, unexpected. "Daniel's joining the board," she announces, and the room claps. Mrs. Rodriguez whooping loudest. "He's proof we can stand up and win. Welcome aboard." I stand, a little sheepish. "Didn't plan on this, but I'm in. Let's keep this place ours. Fair, open, no bullies." The cheers hit me hard, and I feel it. This isn't just my fight anymore. It's our victory. That night, I'm home, staring at the gate, the stars bright overhead. My phone buzzes. "Chris from Channel 8. Spike Law passed committee today. You're a legend, man." I smile, set the phone down, and step outside. The air's crisp, the neighborhood quiet. No more banging doors, no more tire tracks. Just peace, and a gate that's mine. I fought for it, we won it, and damn, it feels good.